Hello, Dwellos, foe and our fellow. Welcome back. Sorry for the bit of delay. Locked myself out my phone, had to get a new phone and get it all set up and stuff. But now, continuing on, I believe I left off at the Key Tey Eee reads, and I have to finish all the fixed signs: Leo, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius. Okay. So let's see here. Where are my Fae cards? They're in the bag. All right. So we will use these. So welcome everyone. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. There we go. Gotta think of how to incorporate into it. I hope the sounding is okay, actually, because I didn't quite check if you can hear me. So I'm going to try to project a little bit more, and hopefully the sound will be half decent until I get some sort of microphone or something. So that's the plan with that. I do have one speaker thing. I did set it up before, but I'm not quite sure if that actually did anything. So, all right. Continuing. Key Tey Eee reads. Water signs, Scorpio. Scorpio, this is your read. Okay. So again, this is, a more direct read. It's supposed to tap into, you on your spiritual journey, you as a multidimensional being, having a human experience, these type of things. Of course, love can pop up into it as well. It's not really the intention though. It really is just about you, Scorpio. And hopefully the message kind of filtered through how you need them. And then, you can have a little heads up, see where you're at and everything. Speaking of seeing where you're at, the first card, Scorpio, cut yes or no. All right, so I'm going to flip two cards. Yes or no, yes or no, yes or no. Okay. If you chose yes, Wheel of Fortune. If you chose no, Angel of Solitude. Okay. I don't know what that means or anything, but yeah. Scorpio, Key Tey Eee read. Cut the deck, wheel. Here. So we'll do it this way. We'll pull the first card without cutting. There goes the same card again. And then we'll pull the second card with cutting. And then we got the World card. The World card matches with the Wheel of the Year. So no, we're not going to cut the deck. Which means I have to then cut this back. We'll see. All right. So, sorry about the loud noise. Now, Scorpio, this is your main energy, right? Page of Cups. You're becoming more softer, more gentle, more, nice, not so, domineering, not so intimidating. You're starting to find this thing in you that's helping you kind of just be friendly and lighthearted and like pleasant and stuff. Maybe from the solitude that you've been in, you've kind of reached a certain pinnacle of healing, so you don't need your defenses up as much. Okay. So Page of Pentacles, this is the main energy. This is where you currently are at on this journey of yours. It's kind of like a receiving energy right now, like rewards from good work. Page of Cups, it's new. You just could be like getting your feet wet into this type of stuff. This is the stuff that you always wanted to do. But I don't know, some just always stopped you or held you back or made you not quite sure or confident if you can or not. But this now is coming to an end here. What's leaving is the Hangman. Okay, this could be a person. This could just be a way of thinking. All right. Again, we're kind of getting out of that, like, you know, primal instinct on how to go about and act and do things. We're kind of looking elsewhere, or where we just came from looking elsewhere, looking at your world upside down, the hangman. So we came from this perspective, this change here. Where are we heading? Knight of Pentacles. So, we're treading it slowly, okay? It's a guaranteed thing, but we're taking it slow, step by step here. Um, maybe maybe you're kind of over prepared for stuff. Maybe you got a little bit too much like baggage and armor on, and it's not quite necessary. But again, better to have it, not need it, than need it and not have it. So I get that. That makes sense. So let's see about the first card, right? Where we're coming from. Three of Pentacles. So again, we're tapping into this new aspect of ourselves, spiritually wise, a renowned place of worship, blueprinting. Okay, not quite sure. I got a notification about an update. Maybe there's an update, one that's kind of just going to interrupt whatever you got going on, an upgrade in a person, job, place, position, an updating your thinking, updating yourself, upgrading yourself, some sort of, newer creation of yourself here. Blueprinting, like I was saying before I got interrupted by my phone talking about fucking, like, what? Um, Double check your phones, make sure they're up to date, your apps and things. Maybe there's things and stuff that you're missing. Maybe there's some tea, right? Okay. So, next card, Knight of Swords. So, start off slow and then taking off real fast. Again, you, Scorpio, can actually do this because it's your energy. Your energy is very dominant and fast and, fearless and stuff like that. But you've learned this new power or ability to kind of like be softer and chill, which kind of, I guess, lets the guards and things of everyone else down first. And then you act real hastily and then you kind of like just get them. You know what I mean? Um, and it's like real fast. So like Knight of Wands is pretty fast, very passionate. You know what I mean? But the Knight of Swords is just like, oh, that's a good idea, and then do. You know what I mean? At that moment, in that time, in that present moment. The Knight of Swords is a very in the present moment thing. So when that opportunity and stuff does present itself, instead of going about it, your normal way, which is like blocking, distance, hiding off in the corner, observing and stuff like that, jump right into the bedazzle. Okay? Everyone's guard will layer down and they will kind of reveal everything that you would normally take longer to search and find if you just sat back. You know what I mean? Because you like opened that door. It's like you want to see what's behind that wall, but like you have to, look over the wall. So like you're climbing up the wall and peeking over it, and the whole time there's like a gate that's see-through right underneath you that you could just open and walk right into, and then walk right back out if it wasn't working for you. Okay. Third card, Ten of Cups. This is good news. This is very satisfying. This is fulfilling. This is what's on the horizon here. Okay. Ten of Cups, we have love, companionship, family, friends, joy, abundance, happy time, celebration, animals, just like, it's what your ideal life would be like. It's like, all right, if you didn't have to worry about like the nuanced things that we do, like paying bills and things and stuff like that, what would that life look like for you? If you didn't have to make sure you had money to pay for all these things and you could just like go to these people and they would do these things just with no strings attached, just because they like doing them. Okay. Um, what would that look like to you if you didn't have those extra stressors on like needing money or needing transportation or, needing this or needing that? If you got rid of the need for things and just kind of like took a moment to see and feel what it's like to already be where you're heading towards, what would that be like to you? How would that make you feel? Okay. rock out in that energy. It's kind of what this is here. It's kind of what I'm getting with this, because we have the Three of Pentacles. So we're creating, we're blueprinting, we're, working with people, new companions, friends and things, figuring out stuff, putting pieces together. And then we have a finished project and we take it immediately to the source before time runs out. Maybe there's like a deadline you feel like you're in or something like that. And then what's the outcome? 10 of Cups. So success, some sort of happy, some sort of victory, in a sense, celebrating. So like this new method to your madness kind of works for you, or has been working for you so far. Okay. So now let's see the Tower, right? The Tower is the next big main event. And you have the ending card with the 10 of Cups. So this is a very big buildup. Okay. Usually when you get a very big buildup, it's because there could be something, spiritual warfare is always going on that's trying to take you down or stunt you or hold you back. So you have the Page of Cups, so I'm guessing there's good news though. Your Tower would be more good news, more solid, more guaranteed, not so silly, in other words, with the Hangman. My bad, that was mad fast. Not so silly with the Hangman. So Tower. We get the Tower. This is the event. This is the main event that you're heading up to, that's on the verge, your next chapter in your spiritual growth in this journey and things like that. Perhaps why you needed this newfound ability, skill, weapon, upgrade to be able to succeed, be successful in this next step here. Okay. Tower, 10 of Pentacles. See, good news. Inheritance, abundance, money. So that stuff that you've been really concerned about or working hard for, it kind of just given to you. Stumbling upon, you're stumbling or walking through the forest and stuff for mad long. It's been 4 hours, and then you get a little bit tired. You trip over something, fall down. You accidentally kicked open this chest full of pentacles, full of your, material, satisfying things that you want, in a sense. Okay, so right when you're about to call it quits and knock out, pass out because overworking, being very domineering, go, you then trip over your reward because it's right there. Ran up on it a little bit too fast. It's never too fast. Knight of Swords, it's never too fast. You're never moving too fast, no matter what other people say, think, or do. You're going off of your inner guiding system. Okay. If your guidance system says you're ready to jump to this big opportunity right now, even though your shit's messed up, then follow that. What happens at the end of that? 10 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles, emotional fulfillment, financial fulfillment. Okay. This is where you're at right now with your energy, Scorpio. Okay. What's this consist of? Higher level of commitment, Tower, and then the Page of Swords. I don't know if you're some sort of teacher or something, because the Hierophant is the teacher. Okay, then you have the Tower, and then you have the Page of Swords, troubled child or something, mischievous or untruthful. Not necessarily bad, just untruthful, white lies, things like that. But this Tower makes me feel like this is a secret or thing that's kind of been going on for a while. 10 of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles. And then there was just an abrupt blow up. Something out of nowhere just came in and messed all this stuff up. So it's you start off, having this idea on what you want to achieve, succeed, or Hierophant could be marriage, high level commitment, but it's usually I'm not getting a lot of love energy. I'm kind of getting being, motivational speaker, something bigger, higher level of commitment, something where you're reaching out to the people and things. You get what I mean? Or you're starting to implement this stuff. Maybe you take your job or your restaurant that you own, co-own, whatever, and you decide to start renting club space, or you start to advertise renting it out for parties and events and things. 10 of Cups, right? Celebrations, things like that. Okay. And then The money, it's a big chunk, more than what you're like used to handling. Okay. So maybe you weren't quite sure if you were like ready to like handle that much kind of like bread, but you are Scorpio, so you're like in like people just want to give you their money anyway, their resources, their secrets, whatever. Like that's so like filter that. People are already wanting to come at you and speak to you and give you what they have to give you, whether you like it or not. Instead of being so like behind the wall, cold, detached, and like kind of sting them and beat them down, or then they just like run off. It's like allowing that, receiving that message coming in here, and then it kind of like multiplying or amplifying. Okay. So higher level commitment, you're thinking bigger, trying something new out, some big ceremonial type of event or something, right? And then boom, something, I'm gonna say, absolutely ridiculous and a bit immature occurs, which kind of like messes things up here. So now, since this immature and stuff things occurred, you now have the truth that's now revealed. You know what's going on. Okay. You then counteract and start disrupting and changing things of your own, that you now know. It's like you're waiting, like, all right, should I hire like this person? Yes or no? Um, you set up a type of event thing, kind of like bring your two people that you're trying to bring into this, like, this is like a family business. This is something very like personal to like yourself. It's not like an open door for mad people to come in here. Very, very specific, unique people get this opportunity. It's a rare opportunity, rare chance that you're offering to people. Okay. So you're going to have a little bit of extra testing things that you're doing to see if they can, like, are they being fake? Are they being real? That detective stuff that you like doing. So you set up this event. Okay. Um, this maybe like a person that's been with you for a while, or situation that like you thought was like kind of already cool and good, like disrupt stuff. And then you kind of see like the manipulation behind that, which then makes this newer offer thing that's coming in here. Is there a newer offer thing? Ten of Pentacles, yeah, the Tower. This, so then this opportunity then comes in here, and they now, you now just kind of start the process with them instead of like observing, right? Instead of just like observing with the Hangman and looking back and thinking, this situation, the stuff occurs, happens, which then changes your mind almost like immediately, very fast, Knight of Swords, and then start switching the energy to here. So now you're slow and steady wins the race, working on this thing right there, and we're no longer, we're not worried about how we're viewed or stuff like that, like your perspective, people's perspective. Maybe you worried about that a lot, then changed your world upside down to kind of get clarity, or just look deep within, like, is that really a me thing or is that a them thing? You got this clarity through, again, the solitude of the cycle that you were going through and closing out. This could have been a year's worth of time of effort and things going into this. Okay. I don't know why this like shit's trying to stop me from speaking, but or maybe if I like sit back like this a little bit, it might help, because I'm like because like I'm trying to be in the I word, not intrigued, but I'm just trying to be more involved with it. So all right, here we go. Here's the Tower, right? Page of Swords, some sort of newfound idea, thought that you're now honing and working on. Some sort of issues with troubled child or things or stuff like that, some sort of immature thing, whatever this was. Even if you were kind of just like zoning out and not really taking into consideration people's feelings, emotions, them being an actual soul or being or something like that in itself, this thing gets disrupted and changed. Okay. Tower comes in. This is spirit. This is ancestors. This is God, divine, goddesses, whatever you're working with. This is them literally stepping in here and disrupting this whole stuff to get to this higher level of commitment, which will then in return bring this inheritance, this mastery of like the material, or this completion at least. So like the 10 of Pentacles, because it's not like a king, okay? 10 of Pentacles is like a very big like check, or very big you know, contract signing of some sort that's coming in here, that over time leaves you like abundant. Your kid's abundant, your kid's abundant. You know, it's a thing like that. And you'll get to that aspect, you know, when you tap into the king energy. So like you get the first stages of this complete pentacle, this complete, you know, inheritance, this, you know, fortune, right? And now we go through the page to the knight, to the queen, to the king. You're already heading to the knight. So you've already studied and learned and things that you needed to, right? Because you did that before. And now it's just going through the journey. You know your destination, you have all the resources and everything you need to make the journey 100% successful. So now we're kind of going there. So you get this 10 of Pentacles, this signing, this inheritance, this upgrade, this level up, and then you immediately take action and start heading towards that which emotionally fulfills you. Okay. My insight to you, right? The star healing, okay? You're not meant to quite know all the details. This could be like a faith exercise as well for you, because again, renowned place of worship. We're finding newer things. We're communicating with newer beings. We're allowing newer energies to work with and flow with you. Okay, so the star card, you are a star as well. This could be stardom. You have the ability, the talents and skills already within you. Maybe this page of swords, this like deceitful message thing kind of helped reveal this in a sense, which shocked you, and then you just went with it. This could have been someone that's like real young too, that was just so like amazing at some sort of like thing they did, some sort of performance, singing, acting, and it's like, wow, this person is so young and they're this successful and doing this stuff. What's stopping me from doing the same thing? And I also have more resources and stuff to be successful, while they still would have to do that. So some sort of big like recollection, good news. This was the good news. This is like, oh snap, I guess I can actually do this stuff, or these things do work. Dreams can come true, stuff like that. Okay. Justice is here. So no matter what or how things go, it's justified, it's fair for all parties involved and the ones to be involved in the future. It's a fair, balanced thing, so you don't have to worry about, you know, any karmic cycles, or being too selfish or anything like that. Like you're good, you're cool with that, right? 3 of Wands, you know, so new energy is created here. All right, and then we have the moon. So it's going to be very concerning at a certain point, especially once you're like knee deep into like this stuff. Things might start getting a little bit hectic in a sense, or crazy. The moon, but this is again like this is this battle with yourself here. Okay, because now you're stepping outside of your comfort zone. You're, you know, telling your ego to like hush a moment. I want to try it this way. You're tapping more into that like feminine creative energy, letting things attract and come to you as wise. Or vice versa. You're more so like gung-ho going for stuff now instead of just sitting back. Whatever you normally used to do, you're doing the opposite of that here. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit shaky with the moon card, but it's just part of the process. It's part of the journey. Don't get caught up in the illusions. Don't get caught up into the doubt or the fears. Okay, this is a guaranteed Knight of Pentacles success and happiness thing for you. Okay, that will be moving a lot faster than you're used to. and that you will feel like, you know, an amateur or rookie or new or even like, you know, docile. Um, just very like silent or like prude or like that type of very like type of stuff. So like it could put you into that type of energy. Again, this would also kind of disrupt you because what are you normally used to? Being that, you know, hardcore, like dominant, my way, doing this and doing that type of stuff. Okay. So it may put you into a more passive energy, a more lighter, a more softer, a more happy, a more giving type of energy. And that's, you know, rare. That's like that's waters that you're not quite used to. Okay. You may have used to been like that before when you were younger, but then whatever event when you were younger, whatever event or stuff happened and occurred here, it kind of like disrupted that a little bit. Okay. Now you have a question. We're going to try to answer it with a card, and then we're going to tap in at your mental, physical, and emotional health. Okay. So think of your question. It could be yes or no. It could be like something like off the wall too, if you want to like test it, just to have fun. You know, it's more like a fun part of it because the reading in itself is pretty much done here. Okay. The answer. Um, if you put in the work, so like, can I achieve this or can this happen? Yeah, you may have to like endure it with the strength card. Could deal with the Leo, but so it's gonna be a bit challenging. It's gonna take a lot of like grit. But Scorpio, I mean, like you were born with that. You were able to pick up a grown ass man at the age of like 5, boy or girl, doesn't matter. You know, you just have that strength. Um, mentally, what does this do for you? Yeah, fights back and forth with your thoughts and things. This energy is coming to an end now. Okay. Or avoid this mentally because this is what's like around you mentally. This could be like spiritual attack wise. This could just be people in your ear, people that you trust and allies and things and stuff like that that aren't quite being fully truthful. That did some like fuck shit that you caught and maybe not have spoken up about, especially when it comes to something very important or very big for you. Okay, with the Hierophant. All right. Um, physically, 8 of Wands. So forward movement, passion, love, like that's all good. It'll be good for your body. Change eating habits, get you a little bit more shape if you're putting in the work. You know, very satisfying, very loving relationship situation. Okay. But again, very fast moving, and you are able to withstand and deal with it. Okay. Um, because we're starting off fast, and then we're probably going to head to something more like consistent, and then you'll just rock out that until like you know the end of the journey of it. Okay. All right, and then spiritual soul level. This is a big victory on the soul level for you. Fresh start, new beginning, clarity. It does so much for you that you can't even like put in all to like words at this moment. So like write about it. Could turn into a book too. Um, you're starting to think like this now as well. You're starting to take like your own personal strengths, experience, stuff, and now incorporate them into like the world to cause some sort of like healing or celebration here. We got the healing with the star, being a star, you know. Okay. And yeah. On the bottom, 6 of Pentacles. Don't be greedy. Give back. Equal give and take. No more breadcrumbing. You won't have to deal with this breadcrumbing stuff from people anymore either. People that will start to come into your life will be very upfront, very giving and stuff right from the beginning. There won't be like the games and the fights, the mental games and stuff to try to figure things out. We're moving past that because that's this stuff. This is a mental card. Okay, changing your perspective. So this is leaving, and then this is coming in. This is knowing my situation, knowing my ability, knowing my speed, my strengths, what I can endure, what I can't endure, and then going on this journey, implementing and using every aspect of yourself to get to the finish line, and nothing can stop you because you are too prepared. for anything or anything. One more flip on the horizon. Ace of Cups could be a new relationship on the horizon too as well. The Ace of Cups. All right. So look out for that. Again, probably with a Leo, some sort of aspect like that. Leo moon, Libra moon, Taurus moon. But yeah, something with the moon signs. Because the last insight is the moon. So this is like really like who you are in the dark when no one's around, and like bringing that to the light. You bringing it to the light is justice for you, justice for everyone else, and also stardom for you, stardom for everyone else, healing for you, healing for everyone else. Because you have this higher level commitment that's teamed up with the source of all creation. That is 10 of Pentacles type abundance. So this is the complete abundance, the completion of abundance, where it's locked in, where it can never fade back away. Okay? And that's what I have for you, Scorpio. I hope this helps, and I will catch you next time.